This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, alongside my co-host halfway across the world, the clean-shaven, the trimmed up, the Primus, Tim Hendricks. How you doing?
Doing good. Pretty excited for today's list. We could have been here just doing 3 of these states with as many as we've done.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So yeah, we are doing people born in each state. I had to make a quick adjustment because my co-host there reminded me and pointed out that somebody was not born in the state, but on every list he was the number one person. So gotta love the internet sometimes. So if we do make a mistake and get somebody will call us out on, we apologize. We try to do our homework the best we can. So with that being said, a couple of these states we're going to probably sit.
Okay, so Brandon's having a little technical difficulty. I don't know where he went, but I will try to do the best I can. Like Brandon said, a couple of these states are going to be something that's going to be a bit. We're going to have a lot of people.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. It just my internet just kind of glitched out, took me off the screen. I am so sorry, guys. Did not like me talking about how I don't know what I was talking about when it kicked me off, but I apologize. So with that being said, let's kick it off with the great state of Arkansas. So people that just watched, we like to call out on how many we think we're going to get right, which it turns in sniping worlds for us. So I do have a double up here.
Okay.
I think 3. I think we'll get 3 correct.
I don't have a double up, but I think we're going to get 3.
Actually, I got a triple up on this one. So
who did I miss for the triple up? But I can say 3. I'll definitely say 3.
All right, Tim, you kick it off. So
all right, my number 5. If this guy's my number 5 on a lot of lists, it's going to be scary because that means the people ahead of him have to be pretty high on the list. But I remember, Muhammad Ali's first ever heavyweight championship was through this fight, and there's this rumor that there was a phantom punch in that fight, and I've seen the fight over and over and over and over again, and I've never seen that where it could be. I got a card shop owner friend that sells sports memorabilia, Bob Smith from Gainesville, who will tell you that there was a phantom punch, but he's a Muhammad Ali fan, so he will never say there's a phantom punch, but he has come out and said it a couple times. But my number 5 at the time was the world champion until he ran into Muhammad Ali. My number 5 is Sonny Liston.
Ooh. Okay, I missed that one. All right. Because that would take off my number 5 if I would have really looked and skimped and combed Arkansas really well. My number 5 is probably the second, the greatest Batman to anybody's Robin, or greatest Robin to everybody's Batman. If you do that in the world of NBA, Won 6 rings with Michael Jordan. Of course, a lot of people will debate that Jordan was nothing without Pippen, but they won't say Pippen was anything without Jordan. My number 5 is Scottie Pippen.
Considering Scotty never won anything in Houston when he was with Barkley and Elijah won, and
Exactly.
yeah, I kind of understand that. So, but yeah, Scotty's. What would have the Portland Trailblazers? What would the Supersonics would have been if they hadn't traded Pippen to Chicago?
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. Your number 4.
My number 4. I think we've had him on a birthday. At least I think I've had him on one of our birthday shows. To me, I think I think he might still be alive. I'm not sure. But probably one of the greatest country songwriters to ever go through. And there's a guy higher up on my list that would agree with me. And there's a lot of people in Nashville that would have agreed with me. Matter of fact, I know we had I think we had a song last week, the episode where we had states and songs or cities and songs. We had one called the Wichita Lineman. And I love the song Like a Rhinestone Cowboy. To me, I love it. Always puts in. My number 4 is Glenn Campbell.
Yeah, he was a good one. My number 4, I know we don't, but get into politics too much. We don't talk about it because that's one thing. But again, you're a president. You should be on a list. I mean, unless it's a list of 3, then you got to be very good. But in a list of 5, you should be on there. My number 4 is the 42nd president, Mr. Bill Clinton.
He's at number 4?
Yeah, number 4.
Okay, just checking.
You're number 3.
My number 3. In Green Bay, where I'm from, near from. I don't think that's proper English. Yeah. But I don't think you were. I think when we went to Green Bay, I think they may have just finished it. And you make the practice facility, an indoor practice facility in Green Bay. It sounds like an oxymoron statement, but you name your indoor practice stadium after what many people would consider probably the greatest wide receiver in Green Bay history. I know I'm going to get the arguments that Sterling Sharp and Sterling Sharp and Antonio Freeman and Robert Brooks and Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb. I still think that Andre Rison could have easily become one of the greatest wide receivers in Green Bay history if they were smart, but they were. But the guy who held all the records in Green Bay and still holds some records in the NFL, up until Sterling Sharp showed up again, Robert Brooks and Jordy Nelson. But to me, I think probably one of the top 2 greatest wide receivers in Green Bay Packer history. The guy whose the indoor facility is named after, Don Hudson.
I did see that name on there. So my number 3, great actor. He did the remake of Bad News Bears, which wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. He actually played a pretty good Santa and bad Santa both times. And that's one Billy Bob Thornton.
Did you know that he was actually a minor league baseball player? When they were talking, when he talks a little bit about the whole minor league baseball thing that he's talking about in Bad News Bears, he's basing some of that off himself because he was a minor league baseball pitcher before he became an actor.
Gotcha. All right, you're number 2.
My number 2, the guy that I can honestly say would agree with me that number 4 is probably one of the greatest country songwriters of all time. Joaquin Phoenix played him in a biopic of my number 2 in Walk the Line. Absolutely had one of those most amazing voices. Again, like Glenn Campbell, amazing voice. I joked one time that I saw a picture of my grandfather dressed in a black shirt and black jeans, and I said, "My grandfather's the man in black," and got a big joke. That joke was about 20, going to be 20 years this year. And I kind of made a joke about it, but absolutely phenomenal. His rendition of Trent Reznor's "Hurt," I think, is probably the greatest cover to any song I've ever heard. My number 2 is Johnny Cash.
Okay. All right. No, that's a good number 2. My number 2, I actually have to do this because I just had a quick brain fart there. So I take my number 2 off because he's not boring. No, he is. I'm mistaken. So I'll put my number 2 back there. Mr. Cub himself, Lou Brock.
Lou Brock isn't a Cub.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't Mr. Cub.
You're thinking of Eddie. You're thinking of Ernie Banks.
Yeah,
Lou Brock was a Cardinal.
I'm looking at a picture of Lou Brock as a Cub, though.
Well, yeah, he was traded from the Cubs to the Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals. Yes, Mr. Cardinal.
Oh,
yes, Lou Brock, number 2.
Yeah, I'm curious of how we're getting 3 at this point. I'm curious. Well, at least we know what it is. It's the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 1 is your number 3.
Billy Bob, huh?
No, I'm sorry, number 4. I thought Billy Bob's 3. Bill Clinton was 4. Your Bill Clinton was 4. Yeah, 4.
All right, so I sniped you at there. All right.
Yeah.
So my number 1 is a trio.
Oh.
And actually, I forgot to play this for you. So let me get that for you. All right.
Okay.
My number 1 is a trio that I put on there, all tied into the music world. You sniped 2 of them, one at 4, one at 2. I also threw in another great country music artist, Conway Twitty in there.
Randy sniped.
Yeah. Randy can go snipe. So Randy Cox, what's up? Johnny Cash, Colin Ray. Colin Ray was born in Arkansas?
Was he?
I must have missed that one. But yeah, Conway Twitty. So Johnny Cash, Glenn Campbell, Conway Twitty.
That's right. I'll fact check. So
we got our 3 in a roundabout way.
Yeah, in a real roundabout
Yeah,
way.
it could be right because doesn't he do a song about Arkansas? Conway Twitty or
Conway Twitty probably
not Conway Twitty. Colin Ray.
Yes, he does. Well,
all right.
He's from DeQueen, Arkansas.
Okay. Well, Randy got one right. So hey, Randy hosts his entertainment hour, who is now kind of stealing some of our stuff there, Tim. I don't know how we should feel about that. So
wait, what's he? What do you mean he's stealing some of our stuff?
They're kind of doing a list, not really ranking them, but
Okay, we're gonna. He sings.
We might have to put a patent on some of our stuff here.
Yeah.
He sings Little Rock. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. So, all right, so let's move over to Connecticut. So this one, straight up 5 for me. But I'm going to say that
I'm straight up 5. I'm straight up 5, up and down, straight up 5.
Yeah. I honestly could see 4. I really do.
I can see 4.
Okay, we'll
really. Oh, it's Trey. It's poker night. No, poker night's Wednesday for you.
Oh, poker night's tomorrow night. But yeah, we will. I'll go 4. I like the 4.
Okay, go ahead there.
My number 5. I have not seen this actress recently, but I know in the 3 movies I can recall her in were big hits. Sleepless in Seattle. You Got Mail. And now I can't think of the third one. But my number 5 is Meg Ryan.
You're thinking, what is it? Sleepless in Seattle. There's You got
Harry
Mayo.
Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally, there's
Those are the three.
I'm thinking of Demi Moore. I almost made the comment about A Few Good Men, but that was Demi Moore.
Randy Cox says he's not stealing anything. I don't know. We'll let the fans decide that.
Sounds like he's got a little dirty dom in him.
All right. Well, he might have a little dirty dom in him.
Yeah.
All right, you're number 5.
Especially considering what's going on in Raw, he'd probably like to be a little dirty dom. Okay. Well, we all know that I'm an Indianapolis Colts fan.
I almost put this one out here just for that.
and it's like, I really didn't realize that. And I realized, he did go to Syracuse. And I never thought about why he went to Syracuse. And then I realized that UConn doesn't really have that great of a football team. But hey, I hear they got a really good coach that didn't want to go to Los Angeles Lakers. But my number 5 is the leading sack, is the career sack holder in Syracuse history. He's number 2. He's number 2 in Indy. He's behind Robert Mathis.
Okay.
Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, oh my God, I think he's a Hall of Famer this year.
No,
he didn't get.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I think he might be, but to me, I one of the big reasons I still don't have this guy's autograph. I have jersey pieces and cards of him, but I don't have an autograph. And then I looked at his Wikipedia page and didn't realize that he played for San Diego and Detroit. Now it makes me really concerned. It was San Diego at the time. It's not the Chargers anymore. It's not San Diego now, but my number 5 is the number 93. The only DF in Indy history that I actually really give two shits about. And that's Dwight Freeney.
Oh, good one. Okay.
Didn't realize he was from Connecticut.
I don't know if he was from Connecticut, but I saw another Colt player on there. The kicker, Adam Vinatieri.
I think there's a couple. I could have put about 5 different Colts on some of these lists.
Yeah. My number 4 is kind of changing the world, I guess, in boxing, mixed martial arts. I think what he does in UFC is kind of taken away from boxing per se. Now everybody wants the 6-sided ring and all that fun stuff, and that's the I don't know if he was the founder or owner, but he's definitely one of their big ownerships now. But Dana White.
Wow. Didn't see Dana White.
Well, I guess we're not getting 4 of them.
No.
All right. You're number 4.
Well, come the hell on, Randy. Why? He has sniped me on 3 of those, including my number 4. My number 4 is the person that keeps getting brought up about one Paul Levesque success in the WWE. I think he got there on his own, but I think when my number 4 and Triple H was part of the Authority. I thought the Authority was they could have did so much better with that, but it was such a great heel faction. Mm-hmm. But my number 4 is the daughter, and to find out that Shane is not born in Connecticut is kind of strange. But my number 4 is one Stephanie McMahon Levesque.
All right. My number 3, great actor, great scientist when he plays, a great Uncle Fester. I'm trying to think where else I've seen him play, and now we talked last week, I think it was, that they're possibly redoing
a sequel. There's talks about a sequel.
Yeah, a 4th one, which will be kind of interesting. And actually, somebody, as a matter of fact, Joanne, if you're watching, she told me that there's a very good traveling play that pertains Back to the Future that I need to go check out. So my number
3.
3 is one Christopher Lloyd. So you're number 3.
Number 3. Okay, number 3. Okay, my number 3. Not only am I being sniped by one Dragon Viper, Randy Cox, but has put your number 3 in a movie where he comes in as a cameo as Dr. Emmett Brown going to the past, which I thought was brilliant. I thought it was a nice little blip and you kind of miss it Easter egg in a Million Ways to Die in the West. This guy, an amazing voice. It does voices, but he's got an amazing singing voice. But the mind on this guy is like a steel trap. It's quick. It's fantastic. Who would have thought to actually write a movie, 2 movies about a talking teddy bear, and thought it would be brilliant enough to make it voice the teddy bear and then do it opposite of Mark Wahlberg. And not only that, but to make Liam Neeson in a cameo in that movie. Most people know this guy for Family Guy. I can't remember. I know he writes American Dad, but the guy's fantastic. Absolutely, he's probably one of those few that are the jack of all trade type of guys. My number 3, like Randy Cox has got as his last one on there. My number 3 is Seth MacFarlane.
No, that's a good one. Definitely a good one. Sam. So my number 2, the phrase that pays gets hit again by Randy Cox and yourself, Stephanie McMahon. You're number 2.
Well, I heard a brief little rumor for a little bit that my number 2 was in a Star Wars series. And it's a blink and you miss it type. It's not one of those blink and you miss it type of things, but he's in the same episode as Jack Black and Lizzo. And I was completely caught off guard in The Mandalorian when he shows up. But, it's the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 2 is your number 3, Christopher Lloyd.
He's in Star Wars?
Yeah, he's in it for this. He's in it. He's actually the bad guy in the episode. And I kind of wasn't expecting it, but
really,
I love Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd is Rieger, or no, Christopher Lloyd is in Taxi. To me, is absolutely one of the greatest comedic roles I've ever seen.
All right, my number 1. Again, we go to the politics world, and in a list of presidents, you're the 43rd, but for Connecticut, in my eyes, you're number 1, and that's George Bush.
Well, go ahead and put it up because it's the phrase that pays. It's C2C, and if it ain't C2C, we're not sniping. You know the rest that I'm going to screw up. My number 1 is your number 1.
Well,
everybody keeps thinking that George W. Bush is from Texas, and then you realize that he was born.
I honestly, when it popped up too, I was just like, really? That's what I actually fact checked on because I thought he was.
No, I knew. The thing is, I knew that both him and his dad had lived in Connecticut, but I couldn't remember if George H. was born there, and he's not. He's born in Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken. Gotcha. But when I saw, I knew George W. was, but he always goes from the great state of Texas. I'm like, dude, he's from Connecticut.
All right. So we got
3.
2.
3.
We got 3. Who did I miss?
We got Stephanie, Christopher Lloyd, and George Bush.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't put that one down yet. Okay. So we are 3 for each of the first 2 states. Now we move into Illinois, which this one could have been
8 years long.
A good one. Yeah, this one could be.
I'll tell you, I'm doubled up in a spot.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
This one I didn't double up on, but I am going to risk it all. I'm putting all my chips in. I think we're going 5 for 5.
We'll go 5. I don't know if we're going 5 for 5. I mean, we may go 5.
We'll get 5 out of 6 with your double up,
which is still 5 out of 5. Because if you just only went 5, then
yeah. Because I actually took a couple people off because I saw another name. And I'm just like,
how big is it? Think about it. Think about this. If how big is the list if you take John Wayne Gacy off your list?
He wasn't even on my list.
Oh, he was on mine.
Uh-huh.
He was huge on mine too.
Yeah. All right, give me a second here. Sorry, the son wants me to put something together for him quick. So, all right. Sorry about that. All right, so I start this one, right?
No, I start this one.
You start. Go ahead. You're number 5.
My number 5. I've been lucky enough to have been to this man's southern home. I taken pictures of a couple. There's a statue of a couple ballroom dancing in front of his house in Key West. I love I love to see that house, but he's also known for being in Spain and many other different places around the world. Probably one of the behind Mark Twain, probably one of the great American novelists of all time.
Well, we are out 5 for 5.
That's why I've got doubled up on one.
Okay.
My number 5. If you've ever read the book or have heard of the book, The Old Man and the Sea, then you know who my number 5 is. My number 5 is Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, I missed that one. All right. So my number 5, great actor. We could probably sit here and list off every movie that he's been in, ranked them himself. From The Fugitive on the way up to Indiana Jones, Captain America, 6 Days, 7 Nights. I know I'm missing some. Star Wars, of course. He was in 50. He was in 42.
Yeah, he played Branch Rickey.
Okay. Anchorman, I guess he was in.
Yeah.
So with that being said, my number 5 is Harrison Ford.
Wow, that low.
Well, okay, we're gonna rank mine on. All right, you're number 4.
All right. In the 60s, NFL in the 60s, when you talked about linebackers, I use the word plural because they're both here and they're both from Illinois. You talked about one, you talked about the other. Especially when you have something as great as the NFL rivalry between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers, especially in the 60s, the 50s, and the 60s. You've talked about these two people almost on a religious basis. And again, I didn't realize that both of them were from the state of Illinois. My uncle once said that you can tell when you're in Illinois because it smells like shit and potatoes. No, it's shit and onions. That's what it is. I'm already killing people in Illinois, so they're going to love me. One went to, I can't tell you where the other went to college. I know one went to Illinois. I believe the other one went to Penn State, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me. But my number 4 is number 51 for the Chicago Bears, Dick Butkus. And my number 2 is number 66 from the Green Bay Packers, Ray Nitschke.
Yeah, 5 for 5's out. Good 5. Well, it was a good state. I tell you, because you said Harrison Ford was low on my list, but my number 4.
Oh, I hate to hear who your number 1 is at this point.
My number 4 great actress. Passed away, I think it was 13 days before her 100th birthday. We know her mostly for the Golden Girls, but she's been in a lot of other movies. My number 4 is Miss Betty White.
Oh yeah, we're not going for 4.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Wow.
Well, at least
Betty White.
Yeah, Betty White. My number 3, huh?
Okay. Yeah, you're number 3.
Well, my number 3 is it's the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 3 has been sniped by both you and Mr. Randy Cox, because because I'm not going to go with the joke from Walk Hard. My number 3 is your number 5, Harrison Ford.
All right. My number 3. We've had this actor on a plenty of list, and I know I don't think there's a bad movie I've seen this guy in.
Oh man,
very funny guy.
Sick. I'm gonna be sick.
My number 3 is the voice of Aladdin, or voice of the genie in Aladdin, Mr. Robin Williams.
Oh, okay.
Well, should I just keep my finger out the phrase that pays?
Not yet.
Number 2.
You will be shortly here. My number 2, you brought up Robin Williams, and Robin Williams worked for a company because of Aladdin. Many people, matter of fact, Harrison Ford, because of the Captain America movie that he's going to be doing, that he's in reshoots right now for the same company under the Marvel brand. If it wasn't for the guy who was the original voice of one Mickey Mouse, we don't get Disney World, we don't get Disneyland, we don't get anything under the Disney brand. My number 2 is Walt Disney.
All right. My number 2, in most people's eyes nowadays, consider him, I guess the top should be on Mount Rushmore of presidents, an actor, football player, I believe, in college, but I know he was into acting. My number 2 is Ronald Reagan.
Hold up. I missed Ronald Reagan?
Yep. Because
I didn't see Ronald Reagan.
I'm pretty sure.
Don't be Ronald Reagan.
Tampico, Illinois.
Oh, gosh, I didn't even see Ronald Reagan. Didn't even see it.
All right. You're number 1.
My number 1, well, it's the phrase that pays. It's the only way we're getting to at this point.
Well, we got 3.
Why? Who did we get?
Well, go ahead. We will get 3.
My number 1 is your number 2.
All right.
No, my number 2. My number 1 is number 3.
Robin Williams. So, yes, the phrase that pays at number 1, Walt Disney. So Randy Cox, he had Bill Murray, Harrison Ford, Robin Williams, Mr. T, and Betty White. He even missed Walt Disney. So
John Belushi. I had John Belushi at 9.
Oh, I missed John Belushi, but yeah, there was quite a big of a list. I mean, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton were on the list.
Yep.
Yeah, so
I didn't even see Ronald Reagan. Oh my god.
Yeah. Wow. So all right, so I lost that all in bet because I thought we'd go 5.
Yeah.
So South Dakota, let's move up to South Dakota. So
okay, we go back.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
God, I love it.
Let's see here. I'm hesitant to go more than 2, but I could see 3. You know what? I'm gonna back off all ends here. I'm gonna go 2. I'm gonna shy away. I'm gonna slow roll this in the poker world.
I'm gonna go 4.
You're gonna go 4.
I doubled up on one.
I did too. So
I think it might be the same one. Last time I said that, I was completely wrong.
yeah. All right. So my number 5, since I get to start, back in the day, before cable really blew up and you wanted a news story, this was the guy that kind of broke all the big news stories. My number 5 is Tom Brokaw.
I would have said Walter Cronkite, but cool.
All right, your number 5.
My number 5. So was Jackson around when the Twins and Viking Stadium was a dome?
No. No.
Yeah, the Metrodome. He wasn't around when the Metrodome.
You saw the Metrodome?
I think so.
I don't think so.
All right, I'm gonna bring in my special guest if he can tell me who the Metrodome was named after.
He won't know.
Won't know. Well,
No.
I'll give him a quick history lesson. It's named after my number 5,
Yep.
Hubert Humphrey.
Yep. Yep. My number 4, we are going into.
Let me look something.
No, go.
Oh, cool.
My number 4 is could have been, I guess, one of the first women to coach in a pro league. As a matter of fact, I think she did because Pop took some time off, so I think she's got credit. But I think she could have been a full-time coach. I think now she's currently coaching the WNBA Las Vegas Aces, which another counterpart thinks it's the Raiders. So
Randy,
my number 4 is Becky Hammon.
it's not Randy, is it?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no.
Well, we're
You're
gonna
number 4.
South Dakota. We're gonna start this early. It's not. It's the phrase that pays. It's not. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 4 is your number 5, Tom Brokaw.
Okay. All right. My number 3 got the double up, and when I was doing this list, my son was actually surprised because he thought one of them was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So my number 3, part of number 3, former Minnesota Viking for a couple preseason games.
Oh, Joe Inouye.
Yeah, exactly. And then actually he pointed out that my 4B or 3B was from South Dakota, which I didn't know. So my number 3, part A, is one Brock Lesnar.
Woo-hoo!
And number 3B is Shayna Baszler.
Oh, this one's going to be a kick in the face.
You're number 3.
Oh, wow. Well, can I get half the phrase that pays at this point?
All right, the half the phrase that pays.
Because I did see the Shayna Baszler, but that's not who I have. I have one half of your 3 is one half of my 3.
Okay.
And the other half of my 3, I'm going to stay also in the squared circle of the wrestling ring.
Ooh, who did I miss?
He would be considered the voice of the WWF during the rock and roll era with Hogan and the Macho Man. And then when WCW started, he moved over to there. My number 3 is Gene Okerlund.
Mean Gene. I missed Mean Gene. Turn it down. Wow, I miss Mean Gene. I am. Okay, I want to check something here because. I just want to check something because Randy's got a name on there that I want to know if
Nope. I know exactly where you're looking at.
It's not game show host Bob Barker.
No, it is a game. It's a game show host Bob Barker, but Bob Barker is in another state.
Okay, so that's not okay.
One that
So
we had to do today.
Okay. The Bob Barker that he posted is not on South Dakota. Okay.
Well, he was raised on a Sioux Indian reservation. I had to double check that myself too.
Okay. All right. So we're at number 2 for me. The phrase that pays. Pulling the Homer card. One 38th Vice President of the United States. One Hubert H. Humphrey. So you're number 2.
My number 2, go ahead and let's put her back up there.
All right.
It's also the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 2 is your number 4.
All right. Becky Hammond.
Becky Hammond.
You're at number 2. Okay. My number 1, I considered one of my goats
Put it up there. Go ahead.
in managing world of baseball, and that is one Sparky Anderson.
We could have gone 6 for 6, but we didn't. My number 1 is the phrase that pays. My number 1 is Sparky Anderson.
So you had Brock and them at 2. No, you had Brock at 3.
3
And then you had Sparky
at 1.
Yeah, we swiped this one. I mean,
Again, it's South Dakota.
yeah, South Dakota. And I was unsure if you would have put Tom Brokaw on there. That's why I didn't go 5.
Oh, no, I put him on there right away. It was one of the top ones I put on. I was shocked to see Gene Okerlund too, to be honest. I was like, holy smokes. I had to put him on.
I missed Gene. So Tom Brokaw, Lesnar, Bob Barker, Cheryl Ladd, and
I saw Cheryl Ladd.
Okay. And Sean Coney. All right. Yeah. So and if you guys watched Between the Ropes, this is Randy Cox that we have put out a bet if he ever does this to see if he lives after that. So
what are we doing? We scheduling a Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul fight?
Yeah, exactly. So all right. So let's move into the great state of North Carolina. So this one, I did have Michael Jordan at number 1, but as my good co-host pointed out, that he was not number 1, so I didn't have to make a fool of myself. So even though he shows up on every list possible for North Carolina. So, but with that being said, I got 3 double ups here.
I got a double and a triple.
A double and a triple. All right. I may have a curveball on this one. So I'll go. God, if we got the same double ups, we could hit big time on this. You know what? I'll go 3.
You go 3. I'm going 1, 2. Let me think if it's right. I'm going 1, 2. If we're just going by spots, I'll say 4. If we're going by number of people, we could do 8.
We could do 8.
If you go by spots, we could do 6.
Yeah. No, I can see it. So, yeah. All right. So you start off with this one.
Do it. Is it me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, it is. It is me.
Yep.
So I didn't realize that this TV show was filmed in North Carolina, first of all.
Okay.
And then they put it there, and then realized that one of the sheriffs there of one good old Mayberry was born in North Carolina. I thought that was pretty cool. I still don't understand why. God, I can never remember the name of the show that he was in after where he was the lawyer. If Randy can figure it out, that by more power to him. But this was one of those shows that we watched in black and white on TBS. And you always saw the little boy and his dad with a fishing pole, and they were always whistling the stupid theme song. That stupid theme song would be stuck in my head, even in nightmares. My number 5 is Andy Griffith.
Okay.
Isn't that a TV show name?
Yes, it is. All right. So my number 5, again, going to politics world for the fourth time in today's.
I'm in 4 spots.
Yeah, I got the 11th and the 17th. James Polk and Andrew Johnson. So you're number 4.
There's 2 right there. My my number 4. I think I've told this story more than once. That when I was a kid, that we always, every time we went on vacation, we listened to country music, and absolutely, this guy's got one of those weird voices, and you hear it. And then he became an actor. I think he was in Black Dog with Meatloaf and Patrick Swayze.
Yep.
He started becoming an actor, and recently he's had a bunch of health issues. He's had a stroke a couple years ago.
Yep.
But he still can't believe that he's the one singing most of his songs when they play it back to him. But that's sometimes that happens. My number 4 is Randy Travis.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll just check something here. No, I'm not checking out Randy Travis. Okay. All right. No. My number 4, kind of a curveball, not the big breaking curveball that, because you probably saw the list or saw him on the list and just passed him. But to me, I enjoy watching this team play because they just pull out so many trick shots and stuff, and it's kind of now trickled into, now we have a baseball team that kind of does the same thing in baseball world. They claim that he's one of the greatest Harlem Globetrotters ever. My number 4 is Meadowlark Lemon.
Meadowlark Lemon. I didn't realize he was from North Carolina. You're right. I didn't see the name. Even if I did, I'd probably have flown right by it.
Yeah.
So, he was my number 6. He was my number 6. All right, now we're gonna see something here. We're gonna see how many people paid attention to that list a little better than they say they did.
All right.
My number 3 is named after his father. Again, this is a guy who seems to break the rules when he was asked not to, makes promises that he can't keep. But we don't have the wrestling that it is today unless we don't have wrestling today. You already know who I'm talking about. That's how sad this is. We don't have wrestling like it is today. If it weren't for him, and to see his ugly mug at the beginning of an episode of Raw saying that I had bought my competition still is the greatest thing I've ever seen on TV and wrestling in my entire life, outside of Hulk Hogan becoming a heel. But hey, sometimes karma's a bitch, and sometimes it gets you back. Looking straight at you there, Vinnie Mac. I saw you at a pay-per-view. I really wish I didn't. My number 3 is Vincent McMahon.
All right. The phrase that pays at number 3. And honestly, this could have been a group of 4. But yes, if the thing is if Vince didn't take his, go against his dad, WrestleMania, who knows how wrestling would have been today. But again, if it's not for Vince, then we don't also have, born in North Carolina, AJ Styles, Charlotte Flair, Jeff Hardy would have been the other 3 I would have put on here.
Yeah, because Matt's not from North Carolina. Everybody keeps forgetting that.
But yeah, so that group of 4 right there. But yes, the headline and all, Vinnie Mac, who I still say is going to show up on AEW here soon.
At this point, I'm expecting it.
Yeah. If they want to do the ratings, Vinnie Mac will show up on AEW. All right, you're number 2.
My number 2. This is my triple up. That's right. I got a triple up.
All right, you're triple up.
If many people know about NASCAR, many people know that a lot of race teams and race shops show up in NASCAR, and none of the two of the biggest names in NASCAR happen to be two of the arguably the greatest just the two greatest names in the sport, and one happens to be the son. The other happens to be a son. Funny thing is, the son never won a major title. He won the Busch Series. Yeah, if my brother-in-law is watching, he's going, no, but he won the Busch Series. Yeah, I know, but Matt Kenseth won the Big Boy Cup, so that's fine. But the funny thing is, if the father wasn't blocking the for the son and his teammate, he'd still be around, and everybody's chasing the other. My 2A is Dale Earnhardt, my 2B is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and my 2C is Richard Petty.
All right. My number 2. You got half of the phrase that pays, so we'll put that up here at your number 4 with Mr. Randy Travis. I also paired him up with another great voice, Charles Daniels.
Fred Durst. No, wait.
Yeah, Fred Durst. You're number 1.
My number 1, well, it's the phrase that pays. You decided to stab me in the face at number 5 with Andrew Johnson and James K. Polk.
All right.
That was dirty pool. That was such dirty pool, too.
Well, that's okay, because your dirty pool came to me at my number 1. You have I have two of your 3. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Senior. I think honestly that race that you talk about where Senior was blocking, so they can have because they both are up and comers, and he wanted to see who was the better one.
Michael Waltrip had been around for a long time.
Has he? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a big race car guy, so
but they happen to be racing for DEI. They were racing for.
Oh yeah. So he wanted them, and like you said, if he wasn't blocking, granted he'd still be around, and we're talking in a different sense. But with that being said, that was actually probably the last race I watched the whole thing from start to finish.
I haven't seen a whole Daytona. I missed that. That's the first Daytona 500 I had missed completely in a long time, and then I haven't watched one since.
Yeah. All right, so let's move over to the great state of Washington. This one, I'm not gonna be brave and go 5. I could see 5. I mean, we did just do technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We went 6 in the last state. Technically,
I'll tell you this: I'm doubled up in 3 spots.
Wow. I'm gonna play it safe and go. I'm gonna go 3.
3.
I will guarantee. I think we should have 1. I think our number 1 should be guaranteed.
I think we're hitting 5.
Okay. All right, and I get to start.
We'll know right here.
So yeah, we will know right here because to me, as a matter of fact, when this gentleman passed away, to me said he was the greatest to play Batman, and I will stick by it. And I don't think a lot of people will argue. I know Tim's shaking his head, but I don't think he would argue that he's not the greatest Batman. My number 5 is Adam West.
We're not going 5. We're not going 5. We're not going. Let's just say this: we're not going 5 spots.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, we can still hit 5.
Yeah. To me, Adam West is the greatest Batman.
Yeah, he's I think he's the greatest TV Batman.
Well, obviously, but
yeah. But I got.
I mean, George Clooney is probably number 2 in my eyes, but
that's guts.
All right.
Even George Clooney wouldn't even consider.
Or not George Clooney. No.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. That's what I'm thinking of.
I'm going to say even George Clooney has never watched the Batman movie he was in.
All right, you're number 5.
My number 5. This guy's hilarious, but I don't know if I know science as much as well as I do if it wasn't for this guy. Absolutely brilliant. And he does science, and he does science projects, and he explains science for the greatest way I've ever heard. Everybody can understand it, from everybody who's in first grade to anybody who's 90 years old. Absolutely fantastic. To me, I remember there used to be a guy called Mr. Science a long time ago, but to me, I think this guy passes him almost immediately. My number 5 is Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Thank you. I win. I'm already.
All right. My number 4, to me, lost at a young age, especially for music. And the thing is there's still, the group is still popular now. He's still popular. Matter of fact, one of my co-workers has a guitar signed by him in a glass case that could be worth just more than anybody can imagine.
Thing better be
And that's number 4 is Mr. Kurt Cobain.
I'm like, that guy. Oh man, I forgot a guy, and I didn't really need to see Randy bring it up.
Well, it's hard for Randy to bring up a lot of things.
Yeah, but he brought up one that I didn't really see.
Okay.
It's not Sir Mix-a-Lot either.
All right, go ahead with your number 4.
My number 4. One half of my 4 is from the great city of Aberdeen. Matter of fact, used to make it quite well known that he was the only vegan wrestler from Aberdeen. Started his own movement because he was a B-lister. And then all of a sudden, another guy thought it'd be cool to put the word "the" in front of his name. And I think both these guys, I think one is an amazing talent. To me, I think is probably, and this is gonna be an amazing thing because I got 2 guys who watch wrestling, so this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be terribly bad. I think one of the there you go. See, he understands. Probably one of the greatest workers of this time. And a guy who, and then the other guy is a guy who couldn't figure out the way to get his own head out of his ass and bought his own spin and got high on his own supply. But that's the way it goes. My number 4 is, like Randy Cox says, Daniel Bryan / Brian Danielson, and the other one was the Brian Kendrick.
Okay. I missed that Daniel Bryan was there. Okay.
He's from Aberdeen.
All right. My number 3, great actor. Can be a funny guy. Can definitely be a serious guy. And, he's good for definitely some good one-liners in some of his movies. And that is 1, Samuel L. Jackson.
Washington?
Well, if we listed him, let's look and see.
No.
Go ahead with your number 3.
Oh, thanks, great. My number 3. Well, this is one of my other double ups. Well, I'm going to be honestly sick at this point. Literally going to be sick. You're great. You brought up Samuel Jackson. I'm kind of not feeling too good anymore. My number 3 is one half. What phrase that pays is your what? Did I get to do it wrong?
No, he's from Washington D.C.
Kind of like Batista.
You type up Washington, he's one of the first ones that pop up, and I didn't think to double check it.
Well, I get one half of the phrase that pays.
Okay.
One half of mine is your number 4.
Kurt Cobain?
Yep. And the other one, another guy we lost way too soon. Funny thing is, my stepdaughter loves both the bands that these 2 guys were in, Nirvana and Audio Slave and Soundgarden. And My number 3 is Chris. 3B is Chris Cornell.
Okay. All right, my number 2. If we don't have his brain power, we probably aren't doing this stuff
Correctly.
on internet and stuff like that because he makes money off of this stuff. So my number 2 is Bill Gates.
Woo!
Well, I'm gonna double you up right here, bud.
All right, you're gonna double me up.
Yeah, because half my other of this double up right here is, the phrase that pays. Half my number 2 is Bill Gates, the founder, a co-founder of Microsoft, but we forget about the other guy.
Okay.
One Paul Allen, who is also the co-founder of Microsoft. I have both of them up on my number 2.
Well, and that's the thing, and Paul Allen is part owner of
He was the original part owner of the Supersonics.
Supersonics. That's what it was.
And then he
All right.
sold it to the team he sold it to the guy that moved him to Oklahoma.
Yeah. My number 1, to me, in the music world, probably the greatest guitarist of all time.
Oh,
I don't think anybody will argue anybody can play a better guitar than this guy. And if it wasn't for him, other people probably wouldn't, play the guitar. But to me, number 1 is Jimi Hendrix.
Oh my god! And the sad thing is, I know Jimi Hendrix lived in Washington. This is. I'm going to tell you right now. Oh, this one hurts. This one hurts to say. This is worse than this is going to be worse than missing Pat McAfee.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Let's just say I wish Jimi Hendrix was number 6 on my list. He's not even on my list because
You're number 1.
My number 1 is to me the greatest. Speaking of Pat Sajak retiring from game show hosting, I have the true number 1 and the true birthplace of the true great, the GOAT, as we like to put people's names on it. My number 1 is Bob Barker.
He's from North Carolina now.
No, he's from Washington.
Washington, I'm sorry. Oh,
No, because remember, he was South Dakota. He was raised in South Dakota, but he was born in Whitman.
gotcha.
Golly, how did I miss Jimi Hendrix? He's got my last freaking name. And then here's what else I got on my list. I've got Jeffrey Dean Morgan at 6, Brandon Lee at 7, Sam Kinison at 8, John Elway at 9, and Jim Caviezel at 10.
Wow.
No Jimi Hendrix on my list, period.
Yeah. All right. So let's pull up. I had a good list here.
Wow. Well, that's the Tim Hendricks Tony Gwynn Award for the day.
Yeah, no kidding.
Good Lord.
So we got the top, let's see, did they rank them on this list? Let's see here.
Well, let's see how this is the game is where like playing. How wrong is this list?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's too long. That's too long of a list. We got
to answer Randy Cox's question. John Elway was born in,
and he was a quarterback there, unlike Jerry Rice there, Randy.
John Elway was born in Port Angeles, and his birthday's coming up. Oh, we got a little breaking news for anybody who likes playing video games.
Uh-oh.
They have just announced the cover for the Madden 25.
And the winner is
Christian McCaffrey.
Really?
Christian McCaffrey.
Right. Well, he's not being picked on my fantasy football team.
Oh, I'm trading him the moment I get him.
All right. So according to ranker.com, this is the top. Let's see how many we got here. No, we'll just stick. Oh no, we will stick. Let's go top 15.
Ooh.
Top 15 greatest TV late night host.
There's 15 of them.
Well, there's. I'm looking here.
There's been 15.
Well, I guess they are. Well, I'm trying to figure out where Jim Carrey was a host of, but Jim Carrey Green Screen Show. Okay, he was number 19, so that's not.
Drew Carey.
That must have been in Canada.
I'll go through some of the list here, because they do have they got a lot of hosts here. Jay Leno came in at number 23. So,
really? That seems awful low.
Yep. Some of the other ones here are Jimmy Fallon at 18, Arcelia Hall at 17, Jimmy Kimmel at 16. So at number 15, again, the ranker.com.
Steve Allen.
What does Randy Cox? You know Elway the quarterback. Okay, but you didn't know Jerry Rice was one. Okay, was not one. All right. At number 15,
Steve
Larry
Allen.
King.
Larry King. I don't have to ask the question. He's going to ask it for me.
At number 14, he was the host of the Tonight Show preceding Johnny Carson.
Preceding, that's
Jack Parr.
Jack Parr. Okay, yeah, Jack Parr.
Oh. At number 13, he was the host of plenty of shows, especially the New Year's Eve festivities. Dick Clark.
Dick Clark. Wow, he had a show?
Began his career hosting the American Bandstand.
Yeah, I knew that.
And then Late Night with Dick Clark, I think, was the show. At number 12, Merv Griffin hosted the Merv Griffin Show.
Yeah, I knew about that.
Talk show. At number 11, Dick Cavett.
Dick Cavett.
Cavett?
Yeah.
All right.
He's done
And now we're in the top 10. Top 10 with Steve Allen.
Steve Allen.
Who's that?
At number 9, the host of the Daily Show, or correspondent host, I guess.
Is that Joe? Is that Jon Stewart?
John Oliver.
Oh wow!
And then he went to HBO.
Yeah, he went to this week, this weekend, tonight, last week or something. Yeah.
Colbert at number 8.
He's good. I like Colbert.
At number 7, Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, that was huge. Everybody used to watch Ed Sullivan.
Yep. At number 6, Graham Norton.
Did you ever see any of his stuff? He's big in Great Britain, but if you get a chance to watch some of his stuff is on BBC. I think in America, I think because he's got some amazing stuff. Some of his stuff.
Number 5, the guy I really cannot stand. I don't know why. Maybe just because every time he talks, he always makes himself first person or however. Number 5, Craig Ferguson.
You don't like Craig?
Not a big fan of his.
Oh, okay. I liked
Number
him
4,
I liked him on the Drew Carey show.
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart's amazing. To me, I think he's
number 3.
This should start really bothering Randy Cox here in a minute because David Letterman should be coming somewhere.
David Letterman better not be higher as he sucks. Well, number 3.
Time to break your heart.
Dave Letterman.
Time to break your heart.
At number 3 is Dave Letterman. Number 2,
O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien.
And number 1.
Who's number 1?
I think most guys probably the Golden Late Night Talk Show host, Johnny Carson.
I almost sit there and went, "Who the hell's number 1?" Lord.
All right, so Randy, yep. Number 3 was your man, David Letterman.
My man, your man.
No, I really think we should we should tie Randy down to a chair and just play Dave Letterman late night shows in front of them, and then every so often we pop in a commentating of Pat McAfee every once in a while.
Let's go.
So, with that being said, guys, that was our show for this week. Tim, any final thoughts?
Well, I thought I could get away with this whole series of our shows where I never have to make a mistake like Tony Gwynn, but nope. Guess what? And what makes it worse is I have the same last name as the guy, which makes it doubly worse. So I should have known better.
Well,
yeah, fun.
well, the whole Tony Gwynn thing though is, we said outfielders, and I don't know how I just brain farted on that one.
And the worst thing is the fact is I know that Jimi Hendrix. I've known that Jimmy's from Seattle. I've always known Jimmy's from Seattle.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
it happens. So, with that being said, tonight I think Callan and James will have their late night roundtable ish sportsman type of show. Late night C2C late night.
Is it
Tomorrow
really a round table if there's two people?
Well, yeah, I don't know what they are. I haven't been up late enough to talk or join them.
And I haven't been, and the funny thing is, I haven't been up early enough to join them either.
Yeah. So tomorrow, number 3. Tomorrow will be Sports Minute. Thursday, hopefully we get kicking it back because I really miss.
I miss you guys. I miss laughing so hard that I almost wet myself.
Yeah, and we definitely will get Isaiah to review that one movie we talked about.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say it now because
he may watch.
Yeah, he may watch. So, with that being said, Fridays I don't think we have much. Or we have Entertainment Hour with Dragon Viper and James and Chris on deck.
So Dragon Viper can be our dancing monkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Dance monkey.
and then and then Sunday is Between the Ropes, and of course women's Cougars football always here. Callan's got a new show coming up with street hockey. He's getting that out, so that'll be showing up here. I think he did a debut episode for that. With that being said, we'll see y'all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.